Welcome to another weekend live stream. We have a little bit of a special edition today. It is the late night edition. Nothing really has changed except I'm doing it on about 11:15 on a Friday night, mainly because I'm having trouble sleeping. So that's the only reason, really. Um, it's hot in the house, so um, as always, I like to start off with maybe a statement or a question. If I'm a little bit quiet compared to my usual self, it's because it's late and I don't want to wake April up, but I still might do it anyhow. Who knows? Um, but one thing I see in the comments section, so I consider it a responsibility of mine and of software YouTubers in general to try and have whatever impact we can. One of the best things about the software community is 99% of the time we all want to help others succeed. And when I see people and when I'm how can I put this? As a developer who happens to be a little bit more connected, I would say, with a community of developers by nature of my software channel or my of my YouTube channel or Facebook group, whatever it may be. It puts me in a position where I get to hear a lot of different voices. And one of the things that upsets me the most is um, when people start making excuses for themselves and start making it. When you start making excuses for yourself, um, you enter into a dangerous realm where now it's not your responsibility and you're just mistreated and you become a victim, and it's a very dangerous thing to happen. And I have a video that I'll be going into deeper detail next week or the following week talking about this, about the developer shortage. And part of what I'll be talking about in that is that we sometimes uh, it is your responsibility to be a good developer and no one else's. And if you're not getting roles, it's not because anyone doesn't want to hire you. It's because you're not good enough. Um, Now, as a person, probably an excellent person. My my statement here is not to be cruel or harsh, but to maybe perhaps open your eyes that the reason that you are not being successful in trying to make a transition in software is not in fact that the tables are against you. It is in fact because you have not taken the time, effort, and energy to succeed. And that's part of what my video this week was about when you buy into bullshit like learn to code in 30 days, you're buying it. You're trying to get it's the same thing with coding boot camps where you're looking for a get rich quick scheme for life, and it doesn't work like that. Now, are there items that if you put a lot of hard work in and continuously grow can pay off very well? Absolutely. But if you don't put in that hard work, or you think there's a finite amount of time and then you deserve something, you're setting yourself up for failure. And if there's one thing that I can say that has made me successful other than consistency is that what leads to consistency is not making excuses at the end of the day. And so keep that in mind. I have made a very literal attempt to change some aspects of my life by eliminating the word try, for instance. I was making excuses in my life as to why I couldn't get in shape. I'm too busy on this and that. I've now been able to start slow and ramp up, and I'm getting much healthier, much stronger, eating better, all these sorts of things. And part of it is you have to stop making excuses for yourself. So if you find yourself in a position where you can't land in interviews, you can't land jobs, or you're getting the interviews, but you can't land the job, look within. If you can get the interview, you can't get the job, that's the first indication that sorry, slate guys, indication that it's not, you're not ready, you're not there. When people interview for the job, what it says is, on paper you look great, we're willing to consider you, but when you show up, when we actually get to interview you, and you can't pass a basic skills test, or you can't interview, you have no speaking skills, you have no communication skills, you can't do a simple technical interview, you can't present yourself in a good way, and you don't have the skills quite yet, this is not a interview problem, or this is a personal problem of you are not ready. Prepare yourself. Do not stop going to interviews, but just don't keep doing the same thing. Learn, and don't make excuses. Oh, well, if the question was this or that. So please, and I remember doing one of these, and God, I forget what the subscriber was, but he is a regular, and he was saying, he popped into the live stream and he was like, Dylan, I just want to say thank you, man. One day I popped in and you were telling me to essentially, you know what, if you're not getting a job, work harder. I've said it every single day, and people think I'm bullshitting, but code every fucking day until you have a job. Remember that in your mind. That is all you need to do to succeed, every single day until you have a job. No breaks. Okay? And he's like, you know what? I was being salty. I was thinking, like, why did these people get jobs? Why didn't I? That's wasted effort, wasted energy. Please, please, please keep doing what you're doing. Because I reflected on myself. I stopped feeling sorry for myself. And I buckled down. I studied for 3 months. Now I had 2 job offers. I just got my first dev job. Thank you. Because he was willing to look within and say, look, you know what? It's easy to make excuses. 95% of the population will make excuses to why they're not successful in life. 95% of the population will hate their job. They won't like it. And one of the great things about software, it's a great industry to be in. It's a great job to have. I absolutely love it. Now, you need to be successful, not only in software, but in life, stop making excuses, and happy, really. Because excuses, at the end of the day, it just gives you a way to limit yourself. You know what? I guess, whatever it is that you want to accomplish. I want to be healthier. Cool. I want to be a better developer so I can make more money. Okay, what are you doing? What are you doing to make more money? I want passive income streams. You know how many people I've talked to that have said, that's really great, Dylan. I wish I had a YouTube channel. I wish I had a passive income stream. You think this shit came out of anywhere? Like, right? This next month will be 3 years I've been working on my channel. I have 800 videos on this channel, 40,000 subscribers. That, for most people, is a astonishing high failure rate. 800 videos, 800 software videos on this channel. 800. 42,000, 40,000 subscribers, whatever. That is not a very impressive number for most people. I've seen software channels larger than me put up 5 videos through the sky, doing multiples better in months. But do you hate on those people, or do you say, you know what can I learn from these people? What value do they have? Because I want everybody to succeed. Because what haters do is they want other people not to succeed, and they say, why is it there, man? They start making excuses, and you want them not to be in your space. You want them not to be in the community because you see it from a hater's mind's point where they're taking away the jobs, man. They're taking away the views, the subs, instead of thinking, you know what? Maybe they're raising all of us up, right? Maybe that's what's actually happening. So when you want something, work for it. It may not come right when you want it. It may not be exactly as you envision it, but don't make excuses for why you don't have it. You know, I it really is a mindset thing where you need to change it. I for the longest time have struggled with caffeine, and just changing my mindset has made it so much easier. I don't have a choice anymore. And that was really, and I didn't really think about it up until recently. When Up until recently, when I was thinking about, you know, what happened to where I was able to buckle down, right? Because we all have our issues, right? I'm not perfect. I'm a flawed person. I'm probably too abrupt most of the time for most people. I cuss a lot. I at times I get impatient. But what was it in this one point in my time where, you know what? There was no excuses anymore. There was no trying. And in my case, I had to put myself in a situation where if I didn't succeed, I didn't have a backup plan. And I took away that try. And it was one of the times where I said, you know what? There is no other plan, and actually stick with it. So whatever your plan is, don't make excuses for it. Work towards it. And if you find yourself not doing it for whatever reason, think every day about what you could have done better. Think about that, right? So just always be evolving and stop making excuses for yourself, because I'm sick of seeing it. I'm sick of seeing it in the comments, man. And it Turbo 360 has nailed it on the head. And this is why consistency is so important. Right now, you're like, hey, man, Dylan's making a lot of sense. I like that. I feel very motivated, right? I'm going to code every day until I have a job. Now, that's all fine and dandy. It's all great advice. But are you actually going to do it? Are you going to take something out of it? Tomorrow, when you wake up, are you going to go, out tomorrow night, have a beer with the boys, a drink with the ladies, whatever it is? Or are you going to say, you know what? I'm staying in and I'm going to knock out a project. I'm going to learn how Git works. I'm going to learn the skills and practice the skills and memorize the skills. So when opportunity comes, I am prepared. There's an old saying that someone in chat said that is the truest thing that I ever heard. A hater will tell you that guy who's always studying and preparing is so lucky. He gets so lucky all the time. And it's not that he gets lucky, it's that he is preparing for when opportunity comes. When someone knocks on the door and says, hey, we think you're a good fit. Are you ready? No one's going to come up to you. You need to prepare yourself to be presented to good opportunities. This is how life works, okay? There are no easy paths in life. So please, 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 if you're one of those people who are making excuses for why you're not a developer, for why you're not successful, for why every time you go into an interview, but you can't land a job, or you can't land the perfect job, or you can't get what you want, or you're getting offered shitty paying roles, don't think it's just fate. Don't think that there's no way around it and that's just the way shit is. Please, please, please. Just stop making excuses, take action, and be consistent with it, man. I don't know what else to tell you, man. We live in a time, in a day and age where you have people who are successful, the people that you want to become, who are willing to give you this advice for free, the people the knowledge is out there, right? You have tons of coding channels, tons of business channels, whatever it is. that you're interested in, everyone's giving it away for free. You just got to listen. And more than that, because most people are listening, you have to actually act on it and be consistent. So if you're trying to be successful in whatever it is you're doing, consistency and I say this about hard work in like every live stream, so I hate repeating myself, but the thing about hard work is that we all have the ability to do it but for how long? That's the truth of the matter is most people, in all honesty, have about 5 days of hard work in them. They have a work week and then they need the 2 days off. And by the way, they're not doing hard work that day, right? They're not working after work or anything like that. So if you can say, you know what? I can work hard for 5 years straight and then I'll relax for a year. If you can do that, that's what I'm doing. I've worked every day for the last 3 years since I've started my YouTube channel. One way or another. I've been working for 3 years towards progressing my career, towards being on the path so that I can consistently go where I want to go. And it's paid off. I paid very well. 3 years ago, I was basically sleeping on a couch. Barely could feed myself. I'm looking to buy a house this year. Things can change very quickly with hard work because you are working at an exponential pace that other people aren't. Your 3 years when you're working hard is someone else's 10, if not more. Okay? Yeah, guys, I think I've hammered this point enough. I'm just I get so many of these comments making excuses for themselves, and I can't handle it anymore. I just can't, man. I stop it. Please just stop it. I want us all to succeed. I want us all to go out there and get what we want, right? Most of us want something simple. Most of us aren't greedy. We want to be able to have health insurance, moderate house, food in the fridge, be able to put fucking clothes on our backs, maybe take care of our parents in some fashion or another as they grow old. That's what most of us want, right? Just nothing too extravagant. You know, we're not trying to get planes and limos or anything like that. And you can. That's the thing, is all these things are achievable. You just gotta put the work in, man. And if you're not getting there yet, it's because you're not putting the work that's required. So please just understand that nothing in life is given, is taken. Is taken by you being prepared, being assistant to. It's so I talked with a coworker about this the other day. And it's kind of funny where like we were talking about like we all have broke ass friends. We've all been broke at one time for the most part. But we're always talking like now, most software developers you meet, they're pretty motivated people. They don't necessarily have side projects, but they understand hard work for the most part. So we were joking about how like we have old roommates or people like that who are like, hey man, I ain't got no money, that are broke, and it's like, well, I ain't got any money, but they're there sitting on the couch watching TV. Well, why don't you go do something about that? So do something about it. Don't talk about it. Do something about it, right? So man, all right, guys. So this is actually not supposed to be about me. Yeah, this live stream will be up for the weekend, guys. This is the weekend. I leave all the weekend AMAs up. So, yeah, this will be up. Don't worry. This is the weekend live stream on Friday night. So let's take some questions, man. I know that was supposed to be like a 3-minute intro, but I think it went on for 12. I got a little caught up, man. I got a little fired up there. Who you got in the fights this weekend? Who's fighting? Nunes. I think Nunes is gonna win. I don't remember the rest of the card though. Mackenzie Dern is weighed 7 pounds over. What is that about, dude? 7 pounds. How that fight's even going on still? Yeah, no one cares about the. I haven't watched too much boxing for quite some time. I'm gonna take Machida. I think Vitor's coming back when he leaves the UFC. Vitor's going to like Bellator, and he's gonna be or some sort of Japanese fighting MMA, and he's gonna be taking that TRT again. He's gonna find his rhythm once again, randomly, right? Okay to share the link for. Yeah, I don't care. Do it. There you go. I don't know. Yeah, TRT Vitor's coming back. You better believe it, man. Do you get some say in what frameworks you use for your work projects? My workplace, we primarily use Angular. Although my tech lead is very open to suggestions. So if there's a reason of, hey, why don't we use Vue? Hey, why don't we use React for this? That would be open to it. When do I make my UFC debut? I'm getting in shape. I ain't getting in that sort of shape. I struggle with CSS. Am I stupid? No. It's just part of the process. I'll be jumping into some Vue pretty soon and some vanilla CSS. So I need to get better with my vanilla CSS DOM manipulation. I have a TypeScript tutorial I need to work on this weekend. So is there any someone's asked someone's asked about are there any Dolan videos coming up? There is. I have a skit that's planned out in my brain. I haven't really worked it out yet. But it's you know how Stack Overflow does their yearly developer surveys? I'm going to sort of present a convention like yearly full stack Wix developer survey results. So that's sort of the premise behind it. So yes, there will be something. One of my classmates is joining a coding boot camp between $15K for 4 months. Is it worth it, in your opinion? It can be, yes. So I mean, there's depending on the boot camp and how much time they put into it. So the thing that I always worry about boot camp. So about 50% of people are successful and 50% of people are not. The reason for it is every time you have some people who are willing to work hard and know that, hey, this is a path to success, you get those people who are looking for the get rich quick scheme and just think, oh, I got this cert, it's going to get me to where I want to go. In reality, it doesn't. It's your hard work that you put into it. So hopefully he's spending 3 to 6 months studying for the boot camp so he can essentially go from, hey, I'm writing hobby code to, hey, I am a professional developer and move forward. So your skin looks orange. It's because it's because I have the orange. I have flux on the monitors, which is what's hitting the screen, hitting my face, and also because it's dark in here. I don't even know what incels is. How much HTML do you have to write at work? I work on the front end, man. I write as much as I need. Am I eating more veggies? I am. For those of you who don't know, part of my being healthy for the last 3 weeks, I've been every morning doing fresh fruit and vegetable juicing in the morning. That is replacing my breakfast. I absolutely love it. Arya tutorials. Can you make some? I don't even know what Arya is, but if I come across it. So I'm trying to do one tutorial a week right now. Um, so this next week is TypeScript. After that, we're gonna probably do an HTML, CSS, maybe a SAS, a Google Charts, a Charts.js, a Jasmine or Karma. I'm just like things I've worked with in the past. So there's probably about 10 other things I can do. And then we're gonna start getting into some of the fun stuff where like I have to learn something new. And then I have to learn it well enough that I can present it to somebody who is just getting started. Um, What do you tell someone who's beginning summer break to keep grinding and not get bored? So the thing about keeping it fun, keeping it exciting, and and being able to continue to grow. So one of the ways that I keep my channel exciting is I don't worry about doing the clickbait ass videos and getting as many views as possible. Is it nice when the views go up? Absolutely. Everyone loves money. So, it means I'm having a bigger impact. It means I'm really honing in, getting better. But it's easy to know what videos succeed or not. But I keep the channel fun for me, and I think this is part of where Dev Tips may have, he created this channel, and at some point he didn't want to keep making the same content. So however you're learning, keep it fun, keep it different when you need it to be, and continue to grow, continue to expand your skill set and go from there. So that's my 2 cents on it, is just find a way to keep it fun. Do I get free food at my job? I do not. Not this job. I used to at my last job, free food and drinks. Now I just get free drinks. Although I pretty much just drink water now. Am I strictly front end at my current role? Yes. Do I have any back end skills? Yeah, my last role was full stack, um, and I do full stack in my personal projects. Should I spend more time building projects on my own? Always building projects on your own because they're unique and you're going to learn more. It's going to stick better. The thing here, guys, is you don't need a super expansive, a million projects here or there. What you need is to, what you need is one real good project. How did you quit energy drinks? I'm addicted. I changed my mindset. I stopped trying to quit energy drinks and I said, I no longer drink energy drinks. Did it suck the first week? Yes. Did it suck the second week? A little bit less, but yes. And here we are, third week. I don't even think about it. Let's see here. Okay, one more thing. Stuff like hackering, coding challenges, websites. What if I can't solve the challenge? Well, you keep trying, you keep grinding. They're not designed to be easy. They're designed for you to get better. To get better, you have to grow, you have to experience some sort of discomfort. You have to continue to mature. And part of maturing is, when you mature from puberty, there's a lot of awkward discomfort, right? And you gotta kind of think about that when you're like, hey, I want to go from being a loser to successful. That means I have to make myself uncomfortable because I'm going to be doing things that I am not familiar with. Like simple challenges, well, for one, you can see how other people solved it and maybe try to understand their thought process. For two, what you can do is you can start whiteboarding them out, try visualizing it, practicing, but really just keep on hammering at it. Did I replace the energy drinks with anything else, or just quit cold turkey? I was already drinking a little bit of green tea at work, which doesn't have very much caffeine in comparison to black tea or an energy drink. So I just drank a little bit more green tea, and then I gave up green tea this week. Can you talk about web developer courses on Udemy? What would you like to know? Any advice on losing weight? So this is something I'm kind of doing, not very seriously. I say this because I'm trying to get healthier. Eventually, eventually, I will. If I do not lose weight in the way that I'm going to, or at least tone up. That's really what I'm trying to get here. Um, um, I will have to reevaluate that. But my advice is find a breakfast substitute that has less calories. Exercise on a regular basis. That's about every other day. I think is pretty good. And then go from there. Um, let's see here. GitHub or YouTube videos for resume? Why not do both? You're also doing the software dev bachelor's? AK-47. I dropped that like I've talked about this in other live streams. I dropped that um that bachelor's program about 2-3 months ago. The reason for it is it just wasn't worth my time, really, in all honesty. My time was better spent doing other things once I got into the program and realized how little I was going to be learning, unfortunately. If I had to recommend something for you, though, AK-47 would go C#. Oh, I ain't ever getting a degree, boys. Um, why not just get that piece of paper? Well, it would take in about another 9 months. Probably cost me about $7,000. But in reality, the amount of time and energy it was taking away from being able to grow in a way that would be beneficial um, was the main reason. C++ or Java for implementation data structure objects doesn't really matter. What's my favorite meme? The one that makes the most sense when you're trying to diss a coworker. How important is GPA for getting a job? For some places, when it's talking about your internships, it can be very important. But all that sort of stuff can be overcome by you having good projects and being an interesting developer. April's asleep right now. How have the past 3 years, working years affect you? It's been very interesting. So, one of the reasons I dropped out of college was I was sick of being unhappy, and my unhappiness stemmed from a lot of things. But some of it extended from being broke and hungry. And, I worked 3 jobs for about the 7 years I was in college going part time, right? So it was nice. It's been nice to work hard and be able to get some fruits to the labor um, of my labor. But it's been nice to be able to work smart as well. Every time I get $100 sponsorship or several $100 sponsorship, or I get, hey, we want you to build a Scrimba course, all that sort of stuff. It's been nice to know that those opportunities have come from hard work, and you start seeing some results of that. Um, so it's been strange to see those doors open. It's been very pleasant. It is. Um, it's also been one of those things where life has changed in a relatively short amount of time, where I've gone from sleeping on couches to, hey, I'm gonna go buy a $300,000 house. Like, so brand new, still got that new house smell. So it's been in that aspect, it's been a very Kevin, I will answer your question as soon as I can. Do not spam the chat, please. All you guys, please don't spam the chat. So it's been interesting in that standpoint. It's also been a pleasure to see myself grow, which is a hard thing to do. I sound really calm tonight. It's because I don't have caffeine in me all the time anymore. I kind of like the jittery feel, which is something I had to overcome. So I'm a little bit more calm than you most people may be accustomed to, because I don't have a shit ton of caffeine in my my bloodstream at all time. But it's been nice to see myself grow, and it's hard to sometimes. My girlfriend tells me I need to stop and just smell the roses, right? And it's hard to see that, but it's just very without trying to have an ego or not be humble. It is good every once in a while to take a step back and look at where you've came. And so one of the things I want to make sure that I do is I am able to accomplish my goals and my dreams. And for where I wanted to be, 3 years in, I'm pretty happy with it, I would say. So why learn TypeScript? TypeScript is great because JavaScript eventually will become a statically typed language. And TypeScript gives you a lot of, first off, you get TS-lint with it, which gives you some good clean code principles. But it also, TypeScript itself will allow you to use types in your code, and it saves on errors in your code. I think I just watched a conference talk where they said something like 15% of JavaScript errors that make it into production could have been prevented if they had used type definitions with it, and it makes your code easier to understand and maintain. So types are a really great thing. Jonathan Walraven says, "Hey man, just want to say thanks for everything. Your videos have been such a big help for me. I appreciate everything you do." Thank you, man. I like Vue.js. I'm on the path to liking it. I like the chill, Israel. Take a break. I look exhausted. I'm not that bad, man. I don't actually get exhausted anymore. I get good sleep, guys. Believe it or not, I get about 8 hours of sleep. How did I learn TypeScript? They hired me for a job, and I watched some videos on YouTube, and I started using it. I look tired? No, I'm good, man. Let me see. Here. Maybe this. Is that better? Do I look less tired? Or do I just look do I look like part of it I don't have AC in my house anymore right now because there's like mold in our vents, and we have to talk to the I'm gonna turn flux back on. We have to talk to the apartment to take care of that in the AC vent. What level of side project is good to show a future employer? Like calculator isn't very impressive. Well, you are Flux is better than the pasty Israel. Thank you, man. You guys are so kind. I wonder sometimes why I do these AMAs for free. It's for compliments like that. Essentially something unique, right? No employer likes to look and see a calculator or a to-do app or something that doesn't require you to actually code. You watched a tutorial and you followed the tutorial. So you want to build something unique and different. A good project for front end is an API based project, so that you're familiar with it, and you can show those skills. What is my favorite fruit? I don't know that I have one, man. I like oranges. I like watermelon. I like cantaloupe. I like melons in general. Have you ever wondered about working outside your country? Yeah, I mean, there's some. I'd like to work in Canada, maybe somewhere in Europe, but yeah, I haven't thought about it. Any tips for getting girls that code and are hot? Well, I can tell you this, man. They're few and far between, and you're gonna have a lot of competition because I think every developer at some point in time wants a developer girlfriend. Um, my whole thing is you are going to, I don't know, man. I think if you try to date girls at your work, you're going to be at a very awkward situation or at meetups. I'll tell you guys a fun little story. When April and I broke up, I met a friend of mine who is a developer now, and I met her at a meetup, and I met her at a meetup a while back. I really liked her sort of aura and everything about her. Um, and then and then from there we started hanging out, and she like came over to my basically my room that I was renting, and we are like, having a beer and whatnot, and I wasn't sure what was going on because I really got along well with her, but I didn't really want to date her. But it was like, hey, here's this chick who likes to code, and we're working on projects. She's learning, I'm learning, everything's doing really well, and she goes, hey, I just want to let you know I'm a lesbian. I'm like, awesome. Now I can have a female friend who likes to code. And then we all studied we studied together and whatnot. But yeah, that's my one story about how I wasn't sure. Yeah, but I was really quite happy about it, because this is a completely true story, by the way. Um, but it was one of those things like I I don't know that I want to have sexual relation with her. Um, but I'm really attracted to the fact that she's a very nice person and that she's interested in software. It was a and then she said that, I was like, awesome. Now we can remove this sort of sexual tension, and we can just worry about coding and having fun, um and yeah, even the coding girls are into custom. um are you guys thinking they should just lie to me? Yeah. How's the Western Governors program? I dropped out 2 months ago, Water Dragon. Thank you, Jim Trader. But my advice, Kevin Lopez, is worry about the code and not the girls. Don't get yourself in trouble. Why is Upwork full of Indians? I mean, the Indian population has a lot of developers, but it really has to do with Upwork is a multinational site, right? So you're dealing with markets that can afford to charge a lot less per hour, and so that's why various nations being represented on there. There's a lot of people in India, though. I want to become a software engineer, but I can't find the motivation to start learning code. Well, that's within your control. I don't know where to begin, what language to use, what websites to use, whether or not I should take notes. Well, I think the easiest thing for you to do is decide if you want to if you want what you want to do you want to build apps? Do you want to build web applications? Do you want to be in machine learning? Once you make that decision, and you can take a week to do some research about the various types of development, quite literally, here's how you would do it. Go to Google, say top 10 different types of software development. Read over the descriptions, think about it, and say, hey, these three sound good. This is something I'd be interested in. Now you then take those three, say web apps, UI UX, backend, and then you go, okay, let me look into the details of these roles, and see what I can do. So, and see, hey, how much are these roles paying? What's the job demand? What skills do they require? And then now you know what what to do. So that's how I would start. Any advice on making my next internship full time? Talk to your boss about what you can do to potentially transition it. If I had to pick one to focus on, what would it be? C sharp. There's a lot of money in C sharp. Although Node is fun and good, there's not as many jobs. C sharp definitely would give me a different skill set that would up my income. I dropped out of Western Governors University because my time was better spent elsewhere. Yeah, April finished with school like 4 years ago. What makes C sharp value? If you look at the job market, you'll see that C sharp's been going up and up lately. So it's also being used by a lot of enterprise companies. So you're working at bigger companies that use it usually. Why C sharp over Java? I mean, both are fine, but I've worked in C sharp and I've worked in Java. And the question was Node, C sharp, or WordPress. Yeah, the .NET Core. That's true. Have I seen a good movie lately? I recently saw, what was it? The Avengers. I recently saw that. I don't know if it's good. That shit was depressing. But it was something I saw. How's the job market in Florida? It's all right, depending on where you go. It's one of those. I don't know, man. I don't have any issue with it, but I also work hard. So, I could tell you that my work has what I consider a fair, very fair, interview level. And out of 100 developers, we extend offers to about 2%, because people don't put the work in. What's the relation of C Sharp to .NET? .NET is sort of the overarching. You can think of it as a framework for C Sharp. So here's the thing. I am working as a TA at a boot camp where I started as a student 5 months earlier, but I still don't know the job requirements. Could you talk about this a little? What do you mean you still don't know the job requirements? Did I beat God of War yet? Yeah, man, I love God of War. Or God of War. Did I say job before? Yeah, God of War is great. I'm excited to see what sequels they come out with and how the story continues to grow. It was a different game in many aspects, but it was a better game in my opinion. Um, I'm not for any CMS. That's my stance. Have I tried Polymer 3 now? What do I think of Trump? Honestly, I find him exhausting. So I used to listen to the news quite a bit every day for several years on YouTube, Fox News on YouTube. Um, the Young Turks on YouTube, and CNN on YouTube. So eventually, I just couldn't take it anymore. It's just too much craziness. He won. That was his goal. So I just focused on things that I like to focus, and it was more of an interesting. I didn't get riled up. I just, I try to stay up to date what's going on, see if it affects me. But that broke off my news cycle. I just don't care right now. What questions do we get at interviews? It depends on the job, but if it's front end, they're going to be asking about HTML, CSS, JavaScript. If you're supposed to know a framework, they're going to be asking about that. That's probably going to be during the technical phone screen. That's usually your first call. Well, usually it depends. So usually there's one sort of warm-up call. Basically, you're going to be talking with a recruiter, either from the company or from an agency that's going to represent you for a company. And then from there, what happens is you have a technical phone screen. This is some basic stuff. They're going to ask you maybe 10, 15, 20 questions about technologies that you've worked with that are relevant to the workplace. And if they like your answers, they're going to set up an interview. So that's probably where you're going to get called in. You're going to from there be probably given a maybe 20 minutes of, hey, tell us a little bit about you in person, this and that. And then you're going to have a technical interview. This is going to be a whiteboard problem. They're going to say, hey, they're going to give you some sort of algorithm, some FizzBuzz type problem, usually harder. And depending on the company, you'll usually get 3. Some give 1, some give 3. It just varies. So, what's the hardest question I've been asked in an interview? I recently got interviewed by Amazon, and they wanted me to write an algorithm that injected HTML for it. Like say they gave me a nested JSON object. They wanted me to print it out properly with HTML indented. And so I actually wrote a solution for that, but it wasn't good enough for them, and so they passed on me. I wrote a recursive one that kept track of a padding or margin and then appended it, but it wasn't a quick enough solution. Maybe they felt they helped me too much. But yeah, so technical interviews are going to be very, very hard for most people. They're still hard for me. The way I prepare, as I do algorithms on sites like Code Fights. Am I still fired up of hacking the coding interview? It's cracking the coding interview, but yeah, I am. I am still reading it. I'm about 100 pages in. It's a dull read. I'll be honest. I've slowed down in my enthusiasm for it, but I'm still going to read it. Any advice for dealing with racism at work? I'm the only Spanish guy. I look different from everyone. I'd talk to HR. That's what their whole department is for. If you don't have an HR department, I would say in your experiencing very verbal racism, I would record it and I'd sue the shit out of the company. That's what I would do, because that's the only way people learn. Yeah, this cracking the coding interview is an unbelievably dry book. I don't know if I've ever read something so dry since college. With that being said, I'm probably not the best person. Being a white male, the only racism I get is not understanding racism and not being able to have a point of view on racism. But with that being said, I don't really, other than internet people saying white guy shut up talking about race, I don't really have an opinion about the matter, because I don't have any experience. Rather, I do have an opinion. I don't have any experience on dealing with racism in the workplace because I haven't. I've always been a majority at my workplaces. I guess I'm going to try and go to sleep. So I hope you enjoyed this weekend's weekend live stream. As always, it has been a pleasure. If you want to support me, you can by, of course, hitting that notification bell to make sure that you get the videos, the new hotness when it drops. You're subscribed, you're liking the videos, commenting, sharing the videos, all that good stuff. You can, of course, hop over to Patreon and hook a brother up and know that every dollar that you support me monthly is going towards the housing fund. You can also buy my wonderful courses, which I have one on JavaScript, two on Angular. And a lot of you have been asking about, hey, man, how can I get better at algorithms? Well, I am working on a 365 algorithm course. That's right, one algorithm every day for a year for you to solve and move forward with solutions and answers and guides on how to break it down. So that's going to be my next course. I'm at about 140 right now, and we're moving through it. I have to solve them myself, so it's taking some time, but that's what I'm doing for a little bit of fun during the weekdays. So for those of you who are interested in that, that will be something that I will be releasing probably in about 2 to 3 months with the rate that I'm solving these algorithms. So one way to get better. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you all. I hope you take what we talked about earlier in this video about not making excuses for yourself to heart and do better. And if you're already doing good, do even better. All right. I'll see you next time. Have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at. Bye.